Hi, this is Andrew Lightheart from smallbiztalks.com, and we're at the stage of reviewing the fifth most favouted talk on TED, which is Barry Schwartz talking about the paradox of choice and why choice makes us miserable. Now, if this wasn't the fifth most favoured talk on TED, I probably wouldn't be getting you to watch it, because I didn't really see an enormous amount that was new. But then what I realised was the fact that it's not new, the fact that it's links to some of the other sessions that we've been watching, begins to show us maybe something key. And I think I've realised something quite important about talks and the ones that people find really memorable. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I've got three things that I think you can learn from Barry's style, three things that I would probably recommend he do differently, one of which is something that I do and I need to learn how to do better. The first thing I like about Barry's style is it's very conversational, and you know that I like that. He also has a music stand where he puts his notes on the stand and then just talks, and it's like, yeah, hello, I need some notes to remember what I'm going to say, I'm sticking them in front of me, this isn't a performance, deal with it. I love it. Because there's something about just being extremely normal, not making it a performance. Those of you who signed up to the free e-course, you'll know that that's one of the things that I recommend. So I particularly really watch for the way that he talks in a very conversational style. Not to mention the way that he's dressed. There's a pattern that happens in the first half of the session where he goes, this is the thing that's happening in society. Here are the examples of where it's happening. Here's one area of life. Here's an extreme example. Here's another area of life. Here's an extreme example and another extreme example. Here's another area of life. Here's another extreme example. Does it 6 or 7 times depending on how you slice it. And there's something interesting that happens with the brain when it sees that, because the brain's always looking to generalise. And by choosing not only 6 or 7 different areas of life, but showing how it's become extreme in all of those areas of life, there's something in our brain that generalises to go, wow, this is extreme in every area of our life. So that's a pattern to just be aware of, to go, if you want people to generalise something about a topic, showing them several different areas where it's true and showing the extremity of it can really help them to generalise up to a point. It's also something you have to be aware of that people are using against you to manipulate you, because they are saying, if this is true, then this is true, this is true, this is true, so therefore we need to be careful of it as listeners. Sub-point B of that one is that I notice that the extremity is where the humour comes from. Most of the cartoons are when someone's taken something and pushed it to an extreme. I'm just kind of fascinated to notice that. So the point number 3 relates to his climax. And Barry, thank goodness, climaxes right at the end. And the pattern that I notice he does is the structure of the whole thing, but particularly focusing on the end. He says, here's something in society that is unquestioned. Here is the way it's in each area of society with an extreme example. Is this a good or a bad thing? Well, we know how it's good, this is how it's bad. 2 ways, 4 sub-points of the second one. So therefore, here's my surprising thesis. Big but, which is the but about people outside of industrialised circumstances. Summary with strong image. I think you can use that structure. Something in society, here's how it's so strong in society, here are the negative points of it, here is my surprising conclusion, here's a major but or 2 that might be going on in your head about that, final conclusion with strong, memorable image. This is very nice. Also keeps your attention going through, keeps you curious, keeps the amygdala awake as it's looking for novelty. 3 things that I would get him to do differently. Got to look at my notes. One is I would make the points a bit neater. There were some things that I had to watch twice to work out where are we going, so I would just get him to signpost a bit better, especially when he goes, so there's 2 major down points, one of which is paralysis, one of which is it makes us miserable, and then he goes on to talk about 4 points, and I'm wondering whether the 4 link with the 2 or what, and that's the slide that comes up. I would have just signposted clearer. Number 2 thing is that this is something that I do, is he doesn't always carry his energy all the way to the end of his points. That's something that I need to learn how to do, because sometimes I drop off at the end, and I notice that when you carry your energy all the way through to the end, it's much stronger. Point number 3, I would not use the cartoons. And I know that's a matter of choice. It makes it a bit like a university lecture or some kind of crappy business presentation. I would prefer you used, if you're going to show extreme funny examples, do them with experiences, do them with stories, talk about the situation. I just don't like it when the group gets their attention pulled away to an image and laugh about the image. I prefer they had their attention on you and they laugh to do with what you were saying. That's really important. So the one pattern that I'm really noticing overall, which I think is the thing that makes people go, oh, I need to watch this again, favourite, is this act of taking something that is true in society, is held as true in society, and showing how the opposite view is true. We've noticed that with Hans Rosling, Elizabeth Gilbert, Ken Robinson. They've been taking something and making it opposite. Now, what we can only say so far is people who have an account on TED who favourite TED Talks like iconoclastic talks. So there's a whole other thought process about that. But I'm wondering whether it might be also true amongst smart people that if you can take something, show this point of view that's very extreme, to do with your topic, to do with image consultancy, copywriting, web design, organic meat, whatever your thing is. Show how something is very embedded in society. Show the surprising opposite conclusion. That's something that can really grab people's attention, especially if you show the opposite conclusion towards the end and you build up to it. So those are some of the things that I noticed, and I was surprised how much there was inside what's really a reasonably pedestrian, or at least a very there's nothing magic going on here. You can totally use the structure that Barry's using. Good, that's all. So go and watch it and see what you can learn. Please put in the comments the things that you noticed that you wouldn't otherwise have noticed, or anything that I've missed out. And this is Andrew Lightheart from smallbiztalks.com, and I will see you next time.